Well, thank you everyone for joining. A lot more people than I expected, so very much appreciate you stopping by. What's my topic today? AI. I'm one of those AI talks, but I really want to focus on creativity and efficiency and how AI in the content creation process can really help you. So I'm not talking about AI is doing your work for you. Don't get me wrong, that's not my style. I'm talking about AI becoming your business. Obviously, in this case, I like to introduce myself very quickly because it's customary in those events. Hello, my name is Uli, short for Ulrike. I am the Director of Sales Engineering at CoreMedia. CoreMedia is a DXP, and we are working with global ambitious brands like John Deere's, the JCPenney's, the Louis Vuittons out there. So not only B2C though, B2B as well as the government sector. So our platform is very much across the board of all kinds of businesses. And of course, whenever we talk about these kind of software technologies, every now and then there comes the question, how about AI? And we all know AI has been around for a while. We all know product recommendations. Quite frankly, AI is deciding how big our mortgage rates are, if we get approval for credit cards or not. So what has changed? Why is it in the last, I would say, 12 months become such a big topic? Well, easy said, it's because of the large language models and now the way that everyone can communicate with AI. So obviously in the last 12 months, there was a lot of change, a lot of opportunities that came up. But whenever I was following those demonstrations, those presentations, there was very quickly this ultimate talking point of AI is doing my work. And while it's still a possibility, don't get me wrong, I don't believe AI is truly there yet. So I was saying there must be something in between. There must be a way for now how we can use AI and how we can really leverage the power of AI along the way. I'm working, as I said, for CoreMedia, so I want to show you that specifically using our editorial tool. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to give you a demonstration of our product. Please stop by at a booth 1617 for that. I'm happy to give you that. I really want to focus on these aspects of the little steps where I can help you. But it's easier to show you with a tool so you can also see what's actually possible like today. And today, without you training a model for months. What you see on my screen, CoreMedia Studio, it's very focused on business folks and creating that content. On the right side, you have what you see is what you get. Preview. On the left side, this is where the magic happens. So when we talk about AI, let me start with the first use case that increases your productivity. And that's actually, let's envision, we are Friday, we are tired, but we still want to get something out there, a little bit of a storytelling piece around our imaginary brand out there. We are all about fashion, so we want to have a nice little blog post about it. Well, when we start in that, we start maybe with an idea, but technically with a blank sheet of paper. How do we do this in CoreMedia? We create a new, what we call an article, that's a content type, and give it a nice little name. In this case, Summer Fashion Trends 2023. I know, summer's over, but I'm not yet ready to let go. I'm sorry. So, want to go with that. And what do we have now? A blank piece of digital paper. Writer's blockage. What do we do now? That's the first thing where I can actually help you. Because now you can ask with a simple prompt, give me a little bit of an idea what to talk about. And for this, what we have at the, in our editorial interface is what we call the Experience Feedback Hub. So it's a nice little tool where we have quite a lot of integrations with other systems that help you about the quality of your content. We also have integrations with OpenAI and WonkAI. And other AIs are possibilities, but that was just the stuff that we have out of the box available. And I want to show you something different than ChatGPT. First of all, you've seen ChatGPT like a gazillion of times now. And I want to show you what a smaller AI vendor can do for you. All know it's important to have a look into that topic because we all know there's a lot of bias and toxicity out there in the web. So you just don't want to call everything and generate your answers. You might want to just focus on that content that your company, your industry created in this case. And Wonk AI is a nice little example for that. It works the same way as OpenAI, just I want to give you a different point of view here. So in here, in our little feedback hub, what I do enter is a prompt. Same way like you do it with ChatGPT, you want to be precise. It doesn't have to be polite like language between humans, but you want to give enough of context about what you want to achieve, what you want to do. Again, it's Friday, so I'm very short on that. I just want to have some idea about fashion trends in here. So now I have my little ghostwriter here, that's the name of the service from Wonk AI, generate me some text. And the good thing is now I'm over my first hump, and that is generating some text that I can work with. It's no longer a blank piece of paper, it's something that I can actually work with. I give it the information, how long do I want to have it, what's the topic about, maybe even what's the tone of voice when you speak about personalized content. You might want to also be precise and say, I want to have that text written for a teenager, right? B2C case that I have in here is one thing, but also think about a government that has a job posting out there specifically for young professionals. So you might not want to write it in a code of a 40-year-old plus person that I am. You might want to write it in a modern voice. That's what AI can do for you. So now I have my text. I even have some confidence level of that text, right? So I have my structure now. Nice little beginning, I have my content, I have my end. And even in my text, I can pick and choose, I can regenerate, I can refine my prompt, going all that. But the idea here is really first impressions, getting your first content out there, something to work with, right? What you also see in here in my content, if I scroll down a little bit lower, which I will do in a second, you get the sources, right? It's very important that you verify what is AI producing. And by the way, that's also one point. Don't give away your human creativity, your knowledge about your customer, about your brand, about your company, about your industry. Don't rely on that. And I'm repeating that a couple of times during that talk. Do me a favor and really verify what's out there. And one way to verify it is to check where are those sources coming from that this generated text returns to me. So now I just simply accepted that text as it is, and now I can work with that. Work with that like in any other content management platform out there. I have my rich text components. I can now enrich my content. I can even think about all these aspects they were showing off. And it's also a little bit of research that AI is doing for you, and very quickly way, right? So here I have this one sentence about shorts. Well, it is about summer, duh, of course. Shorts is always a nice little fashion item. But instead of me trying to find something from a blank piece of paper, now I have something that I can really work with. I can add my spin to my company to it, and please do that. Don't take it as it is. Not to mention biases and toxicity already in there, but it might also be just factually wrong. Remember, we are talking here about a language model that is making predictions based on data in the past. Not an oracle, not a truth sayer. You want to check it out. So here now I just added a little bit of extra text to it because I want to make it my own. And that's what I would do, of course, for the full text. On the right side, you see the preview constantly updating. And that's important for you. You want to stay in control and see how your content is going to look like. Again, with that idea that we have in here, you might also want to go further. You want to create, as I said, different tone of voice text versions. You maybe work on specific items. You want to include other components to the mix. You might even want to translate that content. I'm an English speaker and natively German, so I don't speak French, but I can easily text generate it like that. Or just simply verify it for me. And again, not a native English speaker, so having that text that's actually grammar-wise and pronunciation-wise and from just pure wording, a correct English, nice little starting point for me, right? And there's so much you can do. Transcripts, get all those ums and ahs out there, and you have a text to work with. AI can do those little those little things along the way and really help you. And that's really my message in this talk. Use AI to overcome your, I would say, lack of perfection items in here and generate those text components to this. Within CoreMedia, we are a digital experience platform, so we integrate. We integrate with DAM platforms, we integrate with e-commerce platforms. So now what I would do with my text is I would enrich the experience. And here I'm opening up our library and just look for something that is fitting to my text. In this case here, my red dress look page in that, and just drag and drop it in there. Again, it's all about the easiness of use, just dragging and drop content that was pre-made, content that you create freshly, content that you get from a different system. Drag and drop it in there, and again, with my real-time preview, you immediately see that content. Let's envision we have now a full content in there. How do we move forward from that? Again, my trusted feedback hub opens again, and I'm this time having my issue tab open. And my issue tab gives me a nice little hint, what else should I do with that blog post? Starting off might be a little bit hard to read on the back lines in here, but it says, hey, you might want to add some pictures and some media to it. What would I do? I would open up my library, bring content, but I want to talk about AI, so I'm going to talk about DALL-E. Just an example. Because when we speak about AI, of course, text generation is one thing, image, video generation are other items. I just want to get you through that process. In here, same simple prompt. I would like to have a nice little colorful dress, maybe something beach vibe. It's all about summer. So that's my prompt. And DALL-E is generating a few images for me. So again, it's not photorealistic. It's not what I'm aiming for. It's also something that just tells the story. If you have product pictures, maybe a nice little dress, and you want to put it in different kind of situations, like have it on the beach, have it more on the garden party or something like that. Of course, AI can do that for you as well. So don't hesitate. But I want to show the idea of generating even more, we call it at this point artsy pictures, because it's not perfect yet. It might take a few minutes, but for those of you, especially sitting in the first rows, you might see that the picture at this point, well, I would call it a little bit creepy. Right? If I say it friendly, it's artsy, but it helps me in my storytelling. It doesn't have to be photorealistic. If you have a photorealistic image, stock image, take it. But also don't overlook those options that something like DALL-E gives you, because in this image, you still get it. It's a nice, warm, sunny day. You're on the beach. You're enjoying the warm weather. You almost feel the sun on your skin. So don't always go for that photorealistic option. If you want to tell a story to stay close to your consumers, that suffices too, right? So this can help you to be a little bit more creative, and it can also be, I'm very visual person, so if I'm trying to find out what to write, well, I can actually use a picture like that just to get my creative juices flowing. And also, when I'm back here in my feedback hub, give you another idea. We have a service integration with Imaga. I get metadata generated for me, even from those generated images. And I think that's also nice. It's the one thing about creating your actual content. The second thing, to take care of SEO, to take care of metadata that I'm using also internally to find related content, to find similar content, so I'm making sure that I link those content pieces. So there we go. Now I have my image, took care of the metadata properly, and now all I have to do is just drag and drop it, very easy, into my article, and there we go, I have enriched that. I'm also scrolling down here on my preview, because in CoreMedia you create your content once and you use it everywhere. So even though I'm writing my blog post, the system generates for me all those teaser views so that I can use it on my home page, in the sidebar, on my product detail page, on my product listing pages. Yes, even on my social media posts or newsletters. CoreMedia is a complete omni-channel platform. So, going back to my image, what else is there? Well, my teaser text is way too long. So going back to another use case of AI, shortening a text. I do have a habit of writing long, lengthy texts, right? So that would exactly help me overcome one of my hurdles, which is being wordy. So here I'm asking my summarizer functionality to take that text that I have and give me some versions, short and nice, that work for copy text. Or as I said, could be the teaser in your newsletter for your news story page, or could be for your tweets, or in general social media components. Instead of me thinking about that for half an hour, 2 seconds, right? And it's also active voice, all those things that you would like to have in a proper text generation tool, it helps you. Now all I have to do, copy and paste it, and here we go. In my preview, I see immediately the outcome of it. Great, one step further. So what else was on my list? Let's go back to my issues tab. Oh yeah, I definitely want to have related content, because one item of every good storyteller is that the story never ends, right? So not only my summer trends 2023, I want to tell more stories so that my consumer actually not has this forth and back situation where they get in and read something and now what? Now I want to show them other content. And here I'm going to my content suggestions and just picking a few items out of my repository that fit. And actually they fit because we do semantic matching of our metadata in here, the metadata that I generated before. And that's, I think, a very important aspect that I mentioned. This is honestly not AI. It's just semantic matching. So not just because AI can do everything, you want to use that. You see that in here, our taxonomy also suggesting, right? It's all about helping you as the content editor to create high quality content before you go live. Just simply click on a few of those suggestions as I want, just one click, mouse click. That's everyone can do that one very quickly. Of course, you can add your own taxonomies to the mix as well, fitting to your business, fitting to your industry. Again, it's about content metadata and very importantly, SEO. We don't want to forget about that. So now that I have that one done, what else was on the list? Let me go for it. Yes, metadata description. Again, since this is all about AI, I want to show you that one more time. What can we do with AI? Well, we ask here our transformer to generate keywords for me. You don't have to think, just click a button, accept the suggestion that I have and extend that to the mix. And now I have not only my content, you see here I have a few quality suggestions for my content. Analyzing my text, analyzing my imagery, analyzing my context, and having some high quality metadata associated. And of course, since we're already there, let's also generate a title. Again, I'm not a native speaker, so I have the habit of writing very passively. So that HTML title is really helping me because that suggestion in here, nice little active voice, helping me instead of Summer Trends 2023, which frankly is a little bit boring, right? Now I have a nice little text of the fashion trends that rock the season. So again, just a tiny little thing overcoming my little problems in generating text. And I'm not only use that for my HTML title, actually use that for my article title as well. All right, so what did we achieve now? We have our title. What was the last thing that my issue tab told me? Oh yes, metadata description. All about SEO, again. So we want to add that to the mix. Also, my little memo here is generating me a nice little description. I copy and paste that, and oh, what's that? That's actually my validation framework. Again, just because AI generates it doesn't mean it has right. I have business rules in my tooling that says all HTML descriptions should be less than 160 digits, just an artificial limit that we have put in there just to show you validation framework. So AI is helping me, generating me. My company rules are helping me to stick to the standard, stick to the CX and CI that I want to work with. And now within like 15 minutes, me talking through it, that can be done within 5 minutes. And I think from getting a blank piece of paper where you don't really know what you were talking about to having something done that is good to go, I think that's pretty nice. And throughout the process, me as the editor, who I was in complete control, every step along the way, I know exactly what happened compared to the idea of auto-generating that, and then I maybe have to find out it's talking about something that totally doesn't fit my brand or my company, right? And the idea that I really want to focus here on is to say, hey, AI can be helpful. It's just a few ideas. I already talked to a few of you during that show, and there are so many other ideas that you can help. Talked about the generation or the text you get from videos with all the ums and ams in there, and you remove it out so you can digitalize that content also for people who don't want to watch the video, just read the transcript, for example. We're talking about metadata generation. And also while I'm in here, what you see on my preview, my content shows up. Why is that? Could have placed it somewhere. No, it shows up because of my taxonomy. Just want to show you manual content, dynamic placed content, all of that is possible. And again, I get to the space for using AI as my stepping stool in those little things that really drive the impact without having the AIs doing everything for me. So hopefully I gave you a nice little overview. My takeaway is really here for me, don't shy away from AI. I hear that a couple of times when I talk to prospects and they say, how do I train that model? It takes over a year. Then I have an algorithm that, quite frankly, no one really understands what they are doing. So AI is not for me, at least not now, maybe in a year. And they just are so afraid from it. I'm saying, don't be afraid. Just don't try to have AI taking over the world. Keep it simple. Really use AI where it can help you and your team. And everyone has strengths and everyone has weaknesses. So if you have a small team that is very good in creating text, then maybe you just use the image component or just the metadata shortening text components for your social media posts. All of that is there. So also do me a favor and grow as you go. If you don't jump on the AI train, there's a chance that you miss it completely. That's just a fact right now. The Pandora's box, so to speak, is open. It's just a matter of time what AI can do. And you all know the speed in the last 12 months, how things have changed. So be open a bit. Look for those opportunities to really bring business value to you. Also, my favorite saying in here, you might have heard about it, if you have a hammer, everything seems to be a nail. So AI is definitely a hammer, but that doesn't mean that everything has to be a nail, right? If you have your expert in there that know about your story, that know about your industry, that know about the company, use them, right? Make use of them. Also, like you saw that with my suggestion, semantic matching doesn't have to be AI. It can be also simple algorithms that you worked for since easily decades. Last but not least, make use of inspiration. That's the second part, and I think it's very easy overlooked. Next to text generation and all that, we all have our preferences of how we get inspired or not. Remember my Friday afternoon, everyone is tired, everyone wants to go into the weekend scenario. I could have just simply generate an image for me when I'm talking about how to, I don't know, go to the zoo with my family, and I wanted a nice little editorial about that. So let me generate a picture of a happy family standing in front of the panda zoo, the panda cage that we have here at the zoo. Why not? So it's supposed to inspire you. It's supposed to give you something to work on, not replacing you, right? It should become your co-pilot, not your adversary. So I hope I brought that message across. If you want to hear more, talk some more about it, would be definitely open for that. And also stop by our booth, 1617, and I'm going to talk more about AI and also happily show you more of CoreMedia Content Cloud if you're interested. There you go. Thank you so much.